the best questions.
How did you get accepted to Boy Meets Girl and then go to Girl Meets World?
I was born and raised in Connecticut, so I used to take a 3-hour bus ride down to New York when I had auditions. And it's kind of interesting, they called me and they said there's a new show, didn't have a title at the time, it was called The Ben Savage Project. It was, and they said, we'd like you to come and read for the older brother. I said, great. 2 days before I was supposed to go down, I got the flu. So I couldn't go. They ended up casting somebody else to play Eric, and they shot the pilot with somebody else. So if the original pilot, if anybody can find it, I don't play Eric. And William Russ, who plays my dad, wasn't the original dad either. So they went and they shot it, and the kid who they cast was very good, but he was only 2 inches taller than Ben. And they knew Ben was going to grow, and they wanted somebody to be a big brother, so they recast him. They called me again and said, they're doing the Ben Savage Project again. I went and read on tape in New York. They sent the tape to Los Angeles. They said, we'd like you to come out. I said, okay, I've done this before. I flew out to Los Angeles with my dad, and I went to the audition, and I went in, I met Ben, who was this big when I met him, and he came out, hey, how you doing? I'm Ben Savage. So he was just wired on sugar. I was there, the funny thing is, which a lot of people don't know, is there was a show before called The Torkelsons, which then became Almost Home, and my best friend, Jason Marsden, was on that show. And I had auditioned for that show, and you go from your audition process, then you go to a screen test, which is like you're now in Los Angeles, and you're in front of the whole group. It's almost like this, and you're on stage going, hi, I'm Will, I'll be reading for Eric. That kind of thing. It's very nerve-wracking. So I went for Almost Home, and there were 3 people up for the part of the brother on Almost Home. It was myself, Jason Marsden, and Ryder Strong's older brother, Shiloh. I then went to audition for Boy Meets World, and there were 3 people up for Eric. Myself, Jason Marsden, and Ryder Strong's older brother, Shiloh. So Jason, to this day, whenever I see him, he still says, you know, I gave you Boy Meets World because I took Almost Home. I go, hey, thanks, Jay. But so we went in and we read, and I did not do well. I walked out, I was very upset. My dad said, oh, don't worry about it, what do you want to do? And we had passed in Hollywood, they have this big Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. And I said, why don't we go to Hollywood and go check that out? So we walked across the street, and we were in there and said, you know what, why don't you just call New York, call your agent, tell him it didn't go well, we'll book the flight home, it'll be fine. This was when there were still payphones. So I walked to the payphone and I called and I said, look, I didn't get it. He said, no, you got it. They're shooting next week, you gotta find a place to live. So I looked at my dad, I went, and we in 2 days found a place to live in Los Angeles. I moved out because both my parents were lawyers and they were professionals, they couldn't move out with me, I was 16. So my oldest brother's fraternity brother happened to be moving to Los Angeles. And became my legal guardian. I was just not moving. So this is not a joke. We moved into a place that's called the Oakwood Apartments, and they're fully furnished. There are 2 types of people who live in the Oakwoods. It's young actors for pilot season and divorced men. That's it. So I moved into the Oakwood Apartments. On Wednesday, I lived in a small town in Connecticut. On Thursday, I was sitting next to a hot tub with the Doublemint twins and the kid from Free Willy. And I was looking around going, how am I here right now? And that was it. We were picked up for 13 episodes. I thought I was going to do 13. We ended up going for 7 years. And I've been in Los Angeles for 23. And as for Girl Meets World, when Michael said we're doing it, at the time I wasn't ready to come back. I don't know if any people follow me on Twitter or any of this stuff, but when I was about 23, 24, I was really hit with anxiety pretty bad. And it kind of changed my career a bit, where I was doing more voiceover than on camera because it was just freaking me out. I was getting panic attacks and I couldn't really do it. And then Michael called and said, look, we're doing Girl Meets World, we'd like you to come back. And I said, I'm not sure I'm ready. And I waited a full season, and I saw how much fun they were having, and I went there and I talked to the audience, and they were saying, you gotta come back. They were so supportive, all the fans were so supportive, that I went and I did my first episode. And it was just so amazing that I had to go back and do a couple more. So I did my 3, and I was very happy to do that, and we had a blast. Yeah.
Next one.
Thank you.